I'm actually, let me grab my microphone here. I'm hoping I'm not gonna upstage Belinda. So I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting of the Board of Supervisors of the Venetian Community Development District to order. It's 9:33 in the morning. Let's see, Zachary's on here. Okay, I guess I agree to the privacy policy. In the room, we have Supervisors Rich Goodman, Cindy Sneezek, Cheryl Harmon-Tarana, and Jill Pizarnik. We also have District Council Andy Cohen. We have District Engineer Rick Shopaker. We have River Club General Manager Kelso Valentine. I see we also have Vesta Representative Stephen Giovignello in the room, and we also have Keith Livermore, Field Manager, and several audience members present. I'd like to ask now for a motion to allow Supervisor Ken Smaha, who is currently on Teams, to participate remotely.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, right, so we have all five
Let's
supervisors.
participate and vote, just for
To
the record.
participate and vote.
Thank
For the record. Thank you, Andy, I appreciate it. Right, so I think the next thing on the agenda, I should have this memorized by now, is the Pledge of Allegiance. So, gentlemen, please remove your hats. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, thank you.
Who's taking notes? Or minutes?
Well, this is done through, and thank you for saying that, because I should mention, Belinda usually says she's turning on the recorder. This meeting is being recorded, you probably all know that, and I think it says that in the agenda, but it is done through a recording, so, and that's how it's done, but thanks for asking. The next item on the agenda is the public comment portion. We've got a number of people signed up to speak. The first person to speak is Steve Acidi. Steve, you've got it.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
If I could fit 2 items in the 3 minutes, is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, yes.
So my wife and I were here on a hot August day at the pool, and she noticed that the staff are running around back and forth wearing long pants and black shirts. And I wanted to let you know that it wouldn't offend me and probably most of the residents if apparently staff that go inside and outside are required to wear long pants and black shirts. I don't know, but I think that they should be allowed to wear clothing appropriate for Florida in August.
Sure.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
The second one, I've been communicating with members of the board, and I've been very happy with your response. Thank you. This affects myself and a couple of my neighbors. Apparently, there's not enough pressure from the Venetian main for the irrigation system to drive our irrigation systems. I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time going through trying to prove that that is the case. Finally, we just cut the pipe right off the main and looked at the pressure and demonstrated that there's not enough pressure. There seems to be adequate water to drive the system during the wet check, so it's very sneaky. But during irrigation time, when 1/10 of the houses are running, yeah, there's not enough pressure. And in our case, I'm 106 Valencia Loop. I'm tied in with 102, 104 Valencia Loop. We both have inputs from the main. And years ago, that was enough to provide enough pressure to drive the system. And over time, it got worse and worse until eventually we just don't have enough pressure. And I've had to replace my lawn once. Next door, 104, he's replaced his lawn twice. And we just need this resolved. And it's also a problem with a couple of the other houses across the street from me. Whereas my neighbor at 108 Valencia Loop has plenty of pressure. So maybe it's the individual inlets getting clogged. I don't know. But I just wanted to throw that out and ask that somebody who understands the system, or at least a plumber, look at this and try to deal with it.
Okay.
I was actually up there. I actually met with Steve and Dan last week, and I think Dan spoke to you, Keith, about possibly getting a snake, couldn't try to do snaking it out first. Is that the plan?
Yeah, the snaking out would be the cheapest, easiest try.
Keith,
Yeah.
did you follow up with Dan on that, or do you have any input?
Yes. This has been an ongoing
scenario, we've had multiple people out there look at this situation. It's hard to understand why, because at the far end, but there is no issues. We are trying to get a hold of nobody has ever heard of snaking those pipes. We've talked to probably every wet check person in here on last Thursday to ask if they knew anybody. They've never heard of it being done, okay? So trying to find somebody to do it it's a task to find. All right, there's other way of maybe doing it, of cutting, but we're looking at changing those out.
Okay, so maybe that's what has to be done. So you guys will, because I think, I have to say, Steve's been really patient, so.
Yes.
Yes, I mean,
Okay,
it's,
all right, you
and I
guys,
appreciate his
yeah,
patience,
yeah.
but and it's not something that
We'll
we're
figure it
not
out.
looking at or trying not to do. It's just
You're staying on it.
trying to figure out the reasons
Yeah,
that there's 4 houses maybe
Right.
there
Right.
that don't have an issue. I mean, that have an issue, when the rest of Venetian, I've never heard of an issue with
okay.
pressure, all right? And especially when, you go, well, you got plenty of pressure, wet check, you're doing fine. So it makes, it's just hard to fathom, and getting the right person that can figure that out is gonna be, and pumping up the pressure, it's not gonna be a good
It's another
idea.
issue, yeah.
That'll raise issues that we
Yeah.
just don't
Right.
wanna have.
Right.
Okay, all right, you guys will figure it out.
Just
Okay.
to add to that.
Oh, please.
I looked at the plans.
Yeah,
There is the size of the pipe, it loops around. So it's got water that could come both directions. And if his neighbor is good, it kind of tells me it's isolated at his connection. Years ago, we did have a problem with snails.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
They had to put stuff in the lines to kill them.
Right,
Then they've been treating the pond
with fish.
to help take care of that.
Okay.
Maybe some of that got to this spot.
Okay.
And maybe it's just that connection, but, like the pipe sizes are adequate, but there's just something happening right there.
With those snails, we have started, well, we've been doing it now for a couple of years, that we blow out the system about every other month. Okay, we go through all the cul-de-sacs that have those blowouts, and we blow that out. And we take the new filters out and clean them every other month. This last month, when it was done, there was so few snails, and the blowouts were as clean as we've ever seen.
Well, we've got the fish eating the snails now, right?
Well, we put fish in there, snail crackers, yes.
Right.
We put some other stuff down in the well. So, it's cleaning and working. I'm with Rick, that at that location,
There's clearly
we may
some
have to-
specifics, so,
we may have
yeah.
to cut that out.
Yeah.
And
I think
replace
it's probably time to take Belinda's gonna be yelling at me because we're having this whole
Okay.
dialogue, but I think if you guys can handle it, that would be, yes, Belinda, I love you too. Feel better. Okay, Steve Henderson, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you, Keith, yeah. Okay, Marcy Greenspan, you're up.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. My friend and I have been biking around the development for the past 5.5 years. And we were unaware that these new speed bumps had been installed. And when we rode over them, we almost fell off our bikes. It was really scary. I consider these bumps actually dangerous for bikers. For those of us with back problems, these bumps tend to produce pain, or they increase the pain that's already in our back when riding, even in our cars. I feel it's imperative that something be done to eliminate either, the bump itself or the height of the bump to help out those of us who bike. And I wondered why not use a camera to capture photos of the people that are speeding or that are going through the stop sign. I've seen that as well. And, instead of using the painful speed bumps. I thank you very much for your time. I know.
Thank you. The next person we have is Darlene Schimberg.
Just statement the conversation.
Good morning, everybody.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be on the opposite side of that. I appreciate the speed bumps
Okay.
that were there. In fact, I was going to ask if the one on the entrance to the community on our side,
Right.
the resident side, could even be a little bit higher than what it is.
You like paying for gates?
Well, I don't know about people who have low Porsches and Corvettes, but I mean, I'm just saying, I think it could be a little higher. Just me, that's just me. But I really do appreciate them, and I think they're very, very well worthwhile. And also the conversation about leaving some entryway for the bikes and the golf carts that you'll be coming up against. I want to talk a little bit about the Welcome Center. Since I have personally worked in that building and know the structure, who the architect was, no different than this building, I would hope that when you bring it in front of the community, we will have a very honest discussion about that, because I consider that building to be a total albatross. It would be it would bleed us. Just like this building is bleeding us, the Welcome Center will bleed us. Not that I don't see the value of having another building for us, but that particular building, I will tell you that, no. It is just, it's horrible. The design inside, everything about that building, the mold, whatever is in those rafters now. I don't think that Heritage has done anything with it to make it any more palatable than it was when I worked there. And it wasn't palatable then because of the mold. So just from my personal experience, I will say that to you. And then the other thing is that I just want to compliment the staff here. I mean, with everything that's going on right now, I really appreciate their positive attitude, continuing to move forward. And I, on the other hand, do believe that at times there's only so much you can say when you don't have anything to say, because Vesta is not allowing anybody to talk to them except for, us who can talk to them ourselves. So, we can only feed them so much information before we become liable, and we have to be careful of that as well. But they are doing a wonderful job, and I hope we get to keep 99.9% of them here. Thank you.
Thanks. And then we have, looks like Sal Lafata.
That's me.
That's you.
So,
Moderator. My name is Lapata, Sal Lapata.
Yes.
I live on 173 South Winter Way. I've been here for 21 years, live in the same place. I never saw anything that happened back my house around the lake. And I will show you.
Yep.
And I will show you. Take a look at this picture. Never saw anything like this.
Yeah, that's the picture.
Oh, it's terrible.
You were afraid, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That
It
also
was-
explains
it was
the hundreds of
unbelievable.
old
For
horses.
4 days,
Yeah.
the smell.
Yeah.
It makes you puke. Oh. In Maryland, I was only right there, 21 years. Never saw anything like this, okay? I don't want to know, yeah, you can take it here. I got a lot of pictures here. You take a look at it. It's unbelievable. The patient, they would go in from the pond into the catch base. From the catch base goes to the other side.
Right.
From the other side goes into to the golf club. There's another cage base box about 150 feet away.
Right.
So the patient, they would travel and they die inside the base, each one, believe it or not. I've been in construction all my life, so I know what I'm talking
I
about.
know you have.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not gonna accuse anything, I'm not gonna say anything about anybody. You do something about at this stage. I hate to see anyone
No, I
die.
know. Yeah, let us look into it, Sal. And
Yeah,
I
please.
spoke to Gary Bondar as well.
40
about
years,
this.
never see anything like,
Well, and
I think about it. The only time, 19 years ago, the only time I saw fish would die and birds would die and alligator was we had a cold, cold winter. Everything froze,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Everything was freezing and everything was, a lot of the animals died. But this time, because of the weather's good, there a lot of rain, this and that, I saw
lack of
more.
oxygen.
But this is
Yeah.
ridiculous, what happened.
Yeah, I spoke to Gary Bondar, and I think that Gary may have gotten a hold of Ken. If he hasn't, I think he will, because Ken Smoha's the pond expert, so we're
Well-
aware of it. I appreciate you coming.
I see everything was going on in the pond for years.
Yes.
I see what you've been doing. I know all about it, so if you want to talk to me a little bit different, I would want to go to talk,
Appreciate it.
okay?
Okay, Sal.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Sal.
Thank you.
Chief, has the new pie company
That's what I was just
started
gonna ask.
Next month.
next month?
Next month.
Okay, but
I see what it is.
Yeah,
you want to get into that now?
well,
Or
I
no?
think we know it's an oxygenation issue. So as I said to Sal, I spoke to Gary Bondar, who also, I think I know he's your neighbor. I've been to those before. But, I think Ken, are you able to, talk to Keith about this so we can get some
We have.
steps?
Why don't we
on it?
discuss this under Keith's report?
That'd be
Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
Great. Okay, we'll get back to you, Sal, because we're working on it already.
Can I share one more thing?
Sure,
Give me 1 second.
okay. Well, while you do that, how about if we take
Yeah,
the
go
other
ahead.
speaker? Okay, and then the
I
last
got
person,
plenty of time.
Bob Knight wanted to spend a minute or two on the POA. He may run over for a minute, but I think we can let him do that, since it's a POA.
I just want to share with the CDD board and the guests that POA recently has sent out 2 community-wide emails. One was on ACH, converting the assessment to ACH, and the other's on the streetscape beautification. On the streetscape beautification, our community is lacking between 1,000 and 2,000 trees from several storms back. So there's an initiative that the POA has started that will conclude December of '26. And we were asked for voluntary compliance between now and December 26, December 31st of '26, where instead of an 8-foot minimum tree that has to be planted, the POA would allow a 6-foot tree. There's also work trying to get some of the suppliers around the area to provide discounts or coupons or something to us if we do that. And installation of a 6-foot tree is less than an 8-foot tree. So those are 2, that's the initiative for streetscape. The second one is the ACH. We currently have about 47 delinquent accounts, and those cause us letter writing, telephone time, and doing that, but even more importantly, as I heard during your workshop, cash flow issues. So currently we have about $47,000 outstanding that's past due in the community. So we would be appreciative of as many people as possible converting to ACH. Most of the delinquent people, when they're contacted, simply forget. It's a quarterly payment and it's easy to forget. So ACH makes that pretty easy. And then finally, the POA will have 3 open seats in December. So I would encourage this group, supervisors and anybody in attendance here to think about running for those positions. It is a volunteer position and it's one that really does integrate the individual that takes it into the community. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bob.
Bob.
Appreciate it. How you doing, Sal? Did you find what you wanted on your phone? Did you find what you wanted on your
Yeah,
phone?
sure. Okay, this has happened November 7, 2024.
Oh,
Okay, there's an aisle at the beginning.
oh.
I asked around, I went to the club, to the golf club, and nobody knows nothing. I took that aisle out, all by hands. I hired 2 people, dig it all out.
Don't put that on the record. That'd be like-
Well, that's what I'm telling you. And the alligator, there was underneath, the birds that will land on top, and the alligator take it. Free
Oh.
food, what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took it all out, put them in the piles. You can see the piles right here.
Okay.
Then, after I got everything in a pile, me and 3 other guys, I pay the other guys out of my own pocket, okay? I don't mind paying, as long as I get the job done. So I went back to the club and, what's the name, the golf club. They sent a little pickup, a little truck,
Oh,
and they
okay.
take all the stuff away, and I help them
Okay.
every time. And those pictures you see, I pick it up in those pictures, put them in the back of the truck.
Oh, appreciate that.
Thank you.
So we're gonna.
I don't mind help out.
Appreciate, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. So we're gonna cover this, and then, oh my goodness. And then, and Ken Smaha is your neighbor actually down Savona. He's on the phone and
Yeah.
he's the lake guy.
One more thing,
Okay,
I know what causes the problem.
okay.
I won't tell you now, I'll tell you
Okay.
later on.
All right, sounds good, Sal. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, Sal.
Thanks, Sal. Okay, so.
I talked too much?
Yes, always.
It's nice to see you, Sal. You're being.
I love going to Sal's house. He always gives me Gatorade.
That's bizarre. Yep, Steve Thomaston is our final speaker. That's weird, because he's right between Darlene and Sal.
Oh, we missed you.
I've been forgotten before, that's okay.
Not enough caffeine this morning.
That's right. First off, I want to appreciate the Board of Supervisors for making the decision to install the speed bumps. I know that you're getting a lot of negative and positive response in regards to that. And also approve of the decision you made this morning on the modification to go back to the original specifications that you guys had approved to do those in there too. I really appreciate that because I've noticed a reduction already in people running stop signs and everything, especially at Padova and Benito. It's really incredible. The other thing I want to really discuss is the fact that I am still, after only being here for 9 years, am so upset with so many people that have never experienced the River Club. I know years ago, I remember talking to Denise that there was probably a good 2/3 of the people here that never spent $1 up here. And I cannot understand. My wife and I come up here continuously for the evolutions. They're all first class. The staff is attentive, and we really, really appreciate that. And I tell my neighbors, why don't you go up to the River Club? And they never can offer any really good excuse for not going up here, other than the fact that, oh, we just don't think about it. Now, recently, Vesta has really improved a lot on notification of special functions and stuff up here, like the upcoming deals that you guys with the dueling pianos and everything. We've already registered for all that. We do appreciate that. The staff is a very, very vital part of the experience up here. Because I can tell you, when I come in and the staff remembers my name, it gives me a good feeling. And people say, why? And I said, because it's our club. We pay for it and we should utilize it. So please keep up with the efforts. I know what happened coming in. We're going to go through a whole new learning process with them, but be patient with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so I don't think I forgot anybody unless, okay. So there being no further comment, we're going to close public comment and move on to the first item on the agenda, which are the, do we have any committee reports? I know we talked about putting these on the agenda. Oh, we do. I know Tim sent an email, so
Tim, and then Mark has.
yep, Tim and then
Yeah.
Mark and then
And then I have
landscaping. Great,
They're
okay.
taking care all the time.
So, yep, we got your email, Tim, so
Yes.
fire away. Would you have anything you'd like to give us some highlights? Don't hide, Tim.
Well, good morning. Obviously, you all received my email.
Yes.
You've received the agenda for September 9th meeting that will take place this Tuesday. As you know, the Facility Advisory Committee strives to stay on top of items that affect all residents as to the working and appearance of the Venetian Golf and River Club clubhouse and amenities. We do take pride in our function and take pride in our function and ability to get things done at a reasonable cost. We never accept the first bid and always negotiate all of our bid vendors while reviewing the vendors for completeness of our bid request. Most of the times, we develop a written scope of services request to assure that all bidding vendors are bidding the same project scope to obtain accurate information to present to the Board of Supervisors. As you can see by our agenda, there are many items that are a repeat from month to month, We do this to prevent items from failing to be accomplished by the responsible party. At times, we also do walkarounds at a facility and all amenities to personally check on foot deficiencies and maintenance items, as well as listening to any resident that notices a deficiency on their own. The committee has also presented to the management company on numerous occasions a task list that we feel should be normal maintenance items, and those that need to be documented maintenance items, such as AEDs, fire extinguishers, fire alarm and protection systems, emergency lighting systems, and such. These items are for the protection of the residents as well as the protection of the overall facility in case of an emergency. Our major projects are winding down now, such as the River Club painting, which we painstakingly negotiated from the original quotes of approximately $150,000 to $115,000. Although these projects were managed by Vesta, we did keep a close eye on the quality and completeness of the work. There is still a large punch list to perform on the River Club that Vesta will be seeing to its completion. As you know, Keith Livermore is managing the guardhouse painting work. A few items that we were involved in: tennis court lighting, parking lot lighting, storm shutters at the Tiki Bar, the kitchen equipment purchase. We chased the salamander installation since January of 2025. Pool equipment replacement and planning, geothermal upgrade, which I do have an update on that I received this morning. We did get the approval from the state of Florida. Now we needed an approval from the Department of Health. That takes about 3 days, we're told. So we should see work starting on that next week.
Great.
The fitness room quotes we worked on, AC vendor contracts we worked on, the mosquito system operation, the fans on the rear patio, shades at the Tiki Bar, pathway lighting. The future items that we'll be working on is the coordination of the Sala upgrade and expansion and the locker room upgrade, as these are major areas of concern. We also understand that there may be some realignment of office space as well as an employee lunchroom development, all while trying to gain a much needed storage space. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Next up, racket sports, Mark.
Good morning. I'm the chairman of the Racket Sports Committee, and a couple topics I'll give you an update on. First topic is the tennis court reconditioning. As a reminder, the CDD approved a proposal from Richmond Tennis to replace the lines in the courts and add 3 tons of clay per court. This was done back on July 28th. The cost is $30,000, or about $5,000 per court. This work will start on October 6th. We'll leave a week for this project to be completed. Just as a reminder, the courts were laser graded back in December of 22. They were, cost was $11,000 per court, so we paid over $66,000 2.5 years ago. There were some residents saying, hey, we should be laser grading these courts now. We had 3 bidders come in and a consultant that we had hired inspecting our courts, and they all concluded that our courts did not need to be laser graded yet. These courts should last 5 to 7 years with the proper maintenance. When this work is done, we won't close all 6 courts for the full week. We will the first couple days. Steal Kelso's thunder, he may be talking about this also. He and I spoke to Richmond last week to discuss the logistics and delivery of 18 tons of clay without messing up our driveways and parking lots. So the owner of Richmond, Carlos, he will be managing this project, and he built our courts 20 plus years ago. So he's got a vested interest in this. So we will communicate this to the residents. The next topic is the new pickleball and tennis furniture. And this is replacing the old stuff that was hand-me-down and kind of ripped and kind of just hanging out by the courts. Kelso received quotes based on recommendations from our committee, and this will be on the September 22nd CDD agenda, I believe. And Nancy will be happy to hear the furniture will match the pool furniture. Just a spoiler alert, the quote is well below what was approved in the capital budget this summer. Something not as pleasant is the Jonas tennis reservation module. After 7 months, it's still very lacking and causing all kinds of problems with our residents. New issues surface weekly. I spend 4 to 5 hours a week with the technical people there. I'm not a techie. But there's a back-end system, the Encore, that is not working well with the front-end system, which is the website. So we may need to suspend certain rules in the tennis, specifically rule number 8, which is the use of the ball machine, because they can't get it right. Residents are extremely upset with a lot of these issues. The email notifications, we're not a young crowd here, so normally when you reserve a court, you get an email notification. Well, Friday, people were telling me they didn't get their notification and didn't show up for a court. Now, I got a reservation notice today, which is the good news. Problem is, it was for a reservation this past week, so that wasn't very helpful. So there's issues like that. No longer can a resident book one court during prime time, and again, in non-prime time the same day. We're allowed to do that too. They cannot limit the ball machine reservations to 60 minutes. I got a long laundry list of issues with the Jonas system. Going forward, by the way, I think the problem is going to get worse when more residents return. The tennis staff needs to be more proficient with Jonas, especially including remote access. And hopefully Hampton has more experience or knowledgeable people they can deal with from Jonas, because we're struggling with this. Residents right now are saying, why do we give up on Club Essentials? They had issues with Club Essentials back then, but they wish it was back now. The last topic I'll mention is the tennis rules review. This afternoon, our committee is going to talk about several long-term practices that are not in our existing rules right now, but should likely be added to avoid confusion and residents requesting exceptions. The charter for our committee clearly states that the goal is to maximize the use of our courts for residents and non-resident members. So one of the topics we'll discuss is primetime play from 9:30 in the morning to 11, which is the most popular and most utilized time year-round. We have not permitted leagues or interclubs that involve non-residents and non-members playing on our courts during this time period. But we don't have this in the rules yet. So even during the summer, this time slot utilized 4 or 5 courts per workday on average. We also have not allowed any league or interclub team to have more than 4 courts reserved for play by the tennis staff, since we only have 6 courts. One of the complaints is, hey, when we play at Plantation or courtside, they give us 5 or 6 courts. Well, they also have 12 courts. So big difference. So we'll try to codify some of these exceptions so it's not a problem going forward. We'll discuss these topics and possibly come forward with recommendations at the next meeting. Any questions or?
Just, I mean, if we're having all these problems with Jonas, do we know of any other club nearby that uses Jonas for tennis that maybe we can reach out to them and ask them if they can help us?
Well, Hampton has 18 clubs that use Jonas.
Okay.
One of the clubs has Jonas for everything except for the tennis module. They use Club Essentials, ironically. So I think we should look at that. I will tell you, Hampton's not probably going to promote that idea, but that's in fact what's happening.
So I just want to clarify one thing. The patio furniture hasn't come to the board for approval yet. We had it, we had the reserves earmarked. So I'll be bringing that on September 22nd to the board for vote. So,
And we'll need to surplus the old time.
and then surplus the old. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Sorry, I'm sleeping over here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sal.
I gotta go to work.
Yeah, really, get to work. And then we have somebody from the landscape committee?
That would be me.
That would be Cheryl. Fire away, Cheryl.
So every member of landscape is out of town, so, or at an appointment, so you get me. Basically, we did an article for parcels for the community association, which ran yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's what I actually gave you
Great.
just now, so that's really our update. The project on the existing landscaping Lowell Road is going very well, with the exception of debris removal, which I have talked to them about repeatedly. They removed everything west of the firehouse. They're having trouble getting trucks, but they have assured me that early this week, the trucks will remove the rest of the debris on Laurel Road. The tear out is complete. Will be, everything's been marked by the city for, as far as the lines, gas, water, everything. And they will be beginning digging holes for the bigger trees this week also, actually today or tomorrow. So that project is moving forward. As far as next steps, Mestre Court, just so you know, we are waiting. We cannot get a bid from Blue Sky, who we were hoping to use, because Mestre Court is too small of an amount, and they haven't agreed to bid on anything else yet to make it a bigger project. So we're kind of waiting on that, trying to get something that we can move that forward. We did, actually, I have the proposal, we'll sign the agreement for Juniper to begin the design of the entrance and the 3 islands after the entrance and coming down Veneto, so we have kind of a common link for the whole community, including what to do with the monuments. That is, they're stuck to the same $3,500 price that they did for Laurel Road, so that is good news. And then after that, we will probably do the big roundabout here as a separate project. The landscape committee has agreed to do that as a separate project along with the River Club, because that island is going to be, in my opinion, fairly expensive. If we want a tree that is not small, it's going to be a big price on that tree. So we don't, that really does need to be a separate entity on what we're going to do with that. So that's it. We will continue working along those projects, and if anyone has any questions, we have to answer. Thank you.
Did you get an email from Tyler Castle about, they have that nice, I think it was a Medjool or Sylvester that was put at the end of Medici, but they still have all those old chewed up shillings that are around it.
I did not get an email from Tyler. However, our goal is to get Mestre Court done, and then that will be probably our plan for what to do, because we know, I've driven around the community and I've identified like 6 cul-de-sacs that need help. Like, a lot of them need help, but there are 6 emergency issues. But we need to figure out
There needs to be a standard.
how to get this done. I mean, really, because the pricing for Mestre Court was like under $1,500. They didn't want to bring a truck out to do that work. So either we add a couple to it, which is another alternative. We could just add a couple more initially and have them done.
Just get her done.
Yeah, so we'll get her done. We will figure it out. So,
Cold medicine.
thank you. But I haven't got his email. So
Oh, yeah, because he texted me and I said, email, sure.
he hasn't yet.
Sorry.
I'm sure he will. Okay.
All right, thank you. That's great. Next item on the agenda, let's see here, are the staff reports. Don't think I saw John Fowler here for landscaping inspection. Have we seen a report?
No, and that actually was the other comment from landscape committee is we're not getting regular reports from John, and we haven't seen one in a while.
And also pseudo landscape is not sort of landscape committee, but sort of Keith LMP or whatever. I don't know if you guys saw the email that came out the other day about, and maybe it never.
Mike, because Belinda's gonna have to do this from her recording.
We're getting a lot of, after the lawns are not being mowed on a weekly basis behind residents' houses.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
They're leaving piles and piles and piles of dead stuff. So it's either we're living with weeds that are 2 feet tall or piles of crap. I don't know why we continue, I brought this up a month ago, and the LMP for not doing their job. They're supposed to be mowing.
The date, I can't find the higher up person to find the date of the transition from LMP to Juniper.
Okay.
So I will work on both of those things.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, I just have a problem paying, continuing
I
people
agree.
to do a job that they're not doing.
I agree.
Jill, Belinda sent you a note in chat.
Okay. Oh.
John will be present next week with his report.
Oh, okay. Why am
Thank
I
you.
not seeing that? Okay.
Last report was
You know,
July.
because I didn't turn on notifications. Oh, didn't allow them. Maybe that's why. Okay. Alrighty, so, next item on the agenda is the district engineer. Fire away.
Okay, under tab number 1 is the parking lot, the exit, and we received bids on Friday. I've got 2. I was anticipating a third, and so we still may get the third. And we did get the permit from the city, so we're good to go if we want to move forward. The two bids we got, Infinity, which is basically the concrete company. They've worked out here, they know the community, and they do a really really good job. Parking lot services, they just did the parking lot. They're more of the asphalt company. So I'm thinking when I'm looking at the bids from $22,000 to almost $40,000, it looks to me that they're probably subbing a lot of that work. So Infinity, though, that's what they specialize in. So if you want to move forward with it, that's what the number would be. And for those in the audience, we're looking to add an exit to the north lot. Because when you pull in, there's no really way to turn around. So the board has asked us to look to see about adding the exit from the north lot there.
My personal view is we have a lot of fish to fry at the River Club, and I'm not sure this is the best use of the
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
money.
it.
I
It's expensive.
wasn't expecting this much either, so I appreciate you getting the bids, but,
At $1,300 for two signs?
Those are the posts that we like to have that are not the plain, just the little decorative.
I hesitate as well right now with what we're dealing with the River Club and everything else. I love the idea of having it. I think it's fabulous. I think it would be much safer for the vehicles pulling in. Yeah, however, the price is a little bit concerning for me right now.
I'm just, why do we need sidewalks with handicap ramps?
There's a sidewalk out there
You have
right
to.
now,
You
and we're
have
gonna be
to.
crossing through the
There's a sidewalk there right now?
Yeah, the sidewalk there.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah.
Right.
Well, appreciate you getting this. I
And
think,
I agree with Golding on this.
yeah, it's very helpful information. I think we all agree it's, probably would be helpful to have. I think we're gonna hang on to it. Yeah,
I wasn't
thank you for
expecting
this.
anything like this.
Me either. I was expecting like maybe 20% of this, but, okay. Thank you, Rick, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second item is the speed bumps.
Yes. Yes.
The maps that I sent them were very explanatory. When I got the call, Keith was out there to show me what they had done. We shared that with the vendor, and he was almost embarrassed by what his guys had done. I mean, Dan met with the guys and they clarified it's just going to be halfway. And they did that. And then the one at the golf course, the exit, they totally skipped that one there.
Mhm.
So they did agree to come back to redo that, but I told him to hold off until we talk to see exactly what we want to do. When we remove, do we want to remove 2 or 3 feet along the curb for bicycles? So that's what I wanted to
Yes.
clarify.
Yeah, I think we need to, from the curb, we need to come in like 18 to 24 inches. So those bicycles can go between the curb and the speed bump itself. Yeah, but not so much that we have the opportunity for the golf carts to not use them. So accommodate the cyclists, not necessarily accommodate golf carts. They should be stopping as well.
Does
And the
that do
other
it for
side.
motorcycles?
And the other side removing.
And remove that, yeah.
Right now, with the curb, we've got the 12-inch flat area. We want to go another 18 inches beyond that.
I think so, just so the cyclists can get themselves through.
Maybe another foot beyond that. If
Well,
they
we
have
could go 12 inches, yeah.
I mean,
If they have 12 inches now, we should go another 12, so it's 2 feet.
Okay,
I know you're saying not to put something for the golf cart, but I guarantee if you have it, the golf carts are gonna go into the opposite lane of traffic to go around it.
Can't
And then it's,
control it.
I know, but now you're making it more of a more dangerous situation by having people driving around it, putting them in the opposite direction of traffic.
Are you saying put a cut in the middle then? Is that what you're saying?
Cut in the middle or just make that side wider so a golf cart can bypass it on the side. Because people, if golf carts really gonna blow by it, they're gonna blow by it by going around it, and then you're not putting them in the opposite lane of traffic. And
What's the
I'm just worried.
distance on the flatter ones? What's the distance between the curb and the start of that one?
Exactly.
For the speed cushions, we left enough space for the carts to go through.
Do you know how much that
But
is?
that's, I'd have to check. But in the speed cushions, we're just trying to slow down the cars.
right.
At the speed bumps, we're trying to stop the vehicles and the cart should be
They should be
obeying the
stopping.
stop
I
signs.
think 2 feet is sufficient, and I think you can't control everybody's behavior, but we can try.
I agree. I think so if you bring that side in a foot, so you got the 12 feet, 12 inches on the curb and then another 12 inches, that's sufficient. And then the golf carts should be stopping, like all other vehicles should be stopping. Theoretically, the bicycle should be stopping as well, but this is a safety hazard because it's so slow,
Yeah.
the cyclists can fall. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll let us know when you hear back from the vendor, because we'll continue to get queries from people. So I think if we know when the work is gonna be done, or Keith will let us know, that way, you know, or maybe do we want to let the community know through an email? I don't know, but I think we should let people know that it's being fixed.
Will do.
I think because they made a mistake, this should be expedited as quickly as possible. It's not like,
Fair
it's
enough.
not like on the schedule, I'll get you in 3 weeks. It's like, no, you'll get here tomorrow.
Well, after getting your email, I reached out, they were ready to move, and I told them, I said, well, wait till at least after Monday so we can talk about it.
So we should see them this week.
I sure hope so.
Okay,
Great.
Rick, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rick.
Rick.
Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is the district council.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just a few updates. We finalized, at least pretty final, the Hampton golf agreement and sent that last week, so it's in Hampton's hands right now. I haven't heard any comments back as of yet. With regards to the only other items we've been working on, of course, is I've been working jointly with the chair on transition issues from Vesta to Hampton. And you were copied, everybody I believe was copied on the letter that went from our special counsel, Darren Kwan, where he gave until September 15th for those initial documents. I haven't heard anything. I don't know that we're going to hear anything, but I'll certainly keep you posted. Only other item I just wanted, and I'm sure there'll be questions, but I just wanted to remind the board members, just the attorney nagging you about sunshine issues. We just need to be careful with all that's going on in the district, not to reply all. Obviously, everybody's very diligent about not communicating up and back with each other, but it just bears good reminding. So, absolutely. With that, I'm glad to try and answer questions. I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, one question, actually, it's directed to the board. If we don't, so the date of the answer back is supposed to be September 15th. If we don't hear back by then, do we want to wait to the next meeting to have a conversation about what to do? Or do you guys want to start having a plan of attack today? So if September 15th comes and goes, we know what we could, on September 16th, we could do. Andy has the right to go ahead and do something with Darren, or do we want to wait and have a conversation?
I don't know, my opinion, especially because everything's on the record, I think I would just rather wait and see what we get back and then decide.
There's a lot of moving parts going on right now. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you, of
We're
course.
talking in on the 22nd.
That's why I asked. Okay, that's fine.
Perfect.
I was just looking through to see whether there was anything from the board workshop that we wanted to run past Andy, and I had it in my head that there was,
Okay.
but,
And then we're gonna be talking about credit card fees.
yeah,
too.
the credit card fees, and I think, we're talking about rulemaking and that whole thing, so
Yes.
You wanted to talk to him about the committee, not a committee, but a work group.
Yes.
Right.
For the,
with respect to, well, thank you, I don't know, I just didn't manage to write that down, with regard to the discussions, maybe Ken, do you wanna bring that up, to talk to Andy? You there?
The question, Andy, had to do with the potential purchase or long-term leasing of the Welcome Center from Heritage Golf. And they are willing to consider a long-term lease. Rich brought up the subject, still, can we get a purchase price from them, which I will pursue. But in considering a long-term lease, I raised the question, do we as a board and as a community, do we seriously want to pursue this? And if so, how to go about it? And the question came up, should we have a separate resident, either committee or work group formed of people that would probably have some knowledge of local real estate, commercial real estate market, and the question became, are we better off with a work group or a committee? It doesn't matter. Whereas a work group has more flexibility than a committee does.
Well, I'm not sure what definition you're using for work group. So let me just say this, which is if this board is involved with appointing people to whatever you call it, committee, work group, whatever it might be, and it's going to be making recommendations to this board, then they need to meet in the sunshine.
What if they presented with options?
Yes, they still need to meet in the sunshine because anytime I'll call it a committee, okay? Anytime the committee even just narrows options, then that is equivalent to making a recommendation. So if this group, I'll start calling it the group, if the group takes a whole bunch of information, gathers it all, throws it on the table and says, do with it as you please, okay? That is not a sunshine issue. But if they have a recommendation, or if they have 6 different options and they narrow it to 3 and say, you make your decision on these 3, once they've narrowed the information, it's like making a recommendation. That's how the Attorney General opinions read.
So we need to be kind of careful even on the other work group. That's
Correct.
in
Exactly.
existence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah,
That probably
Yeah.
needs to be
Yeah.
like shut
I was-
down and
I was-
now goes back to
I was
committee.
thinking the same thing, that's
Yeah.
getting from the
Yeah.
committee soon, yes.
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 That's
But
makes my
I
mom sweat a little.
I think for now, we can have them just do as a workshop, just to start getting the information so they can bring that back to us, and then we can decide if there's a direction, and then we can make it a committee. At least they're not tied up in sunshine at the very beginning.
So you're
Well,
saying
that's
put
the third
information
term.
together and
With
then
a term.
figure out-
Yeah,
With the term.
With the term.
That was the intent,
Okay.
Yes, with the term.
information gathering.
Okay, and I don't know if everybody remembers this, perhaps you do, but our office prepared a long-term lease that Ernest Booker wanted at one point a few years ago. And I'm sure I could still put my hands on that if that's something you'd like
Yeah,
me to
Andy.
send to you, Ken.
Yeah, I'd love to get a hold of that.
Okay.
Ernest Booker had mentioned that a long time ago, but he didn't come up with a copy of it. So he wasn't sure if it was actually done or not.
It was, I believe it was prepared. I'll have to look, but I thought that it was. Lori Dorman, who worked in our office at the time, I believe worked with Judge Booker. I'll find out.
Is there anything, just as, I'm saying this so that Ken hears it, we all hear it, but I guess I'm getting paranoid about our bonds. Is there anything about, or maybe I ask this another way, at some point, I guess we're gonna have to check with bond counsel to see whether there's anything about that would affect our
About
bonds? About if we were to take, yeah, or the requirements of the bonds, if we were to say, for example, do a long-term lease or purchase, because.
Well, it depends what are we gonna purchase it with? I mean, the issues we
Right.
have here at the River Club is that this club was financed with tax exempt bonds.
Yes.
So, if we're talking about leasing or purchasing or whatever we're doing with the, Welcome Center, if anything, it will come down to whether we're utilizing bond funds or not.
No. My feeling is, or at least, obviously, up to bond council and you, my feeling is, rather than straddle the residents of an assessment to buy it today, for every $1 million, at a 15-year loan, if we took a 15-year loan for $1 million, it'd be $75 per year per household. So if you live here for 3 years, you pay $225. If you move in here 4 years from now, you're paying for the use of the things. So that would be a purchase price. This way, I'm against the assessments and utilizing.
No, so all I'm saying is your question about how would it impact bonds is only if we use bonds.
So,
That's why we run into the issues here, because this was purchased with tax exempt bonds. That's why we need to be cognizant of our tax
Well,
exempt.
I guess, the reason it popped into my head, and it's probably a disconnect that, a connection I shouldn't have made because it's not connected, but, we assess the golf club every year for units. And so it's only at $30,000 a year, but still. So is there something about changing that equation that somehow impacts us overall? And I don't know whether that makes sense or not, but that's
Okay.
where I was going with that.
So we assess, and I'm trying to track with you, we assess the golf club for the Welcome Center.
And the golf yard.
And the golf yard. So if we end up with the golf center, excuse me, with the Welcome
So which is
Center,
11 units.
either an ownership or lease or whatever it might be,
Right.
it may affect the assessments that are on the club.
Right.
So from that respect, yes.
That would, okay, I'm just.
But it's not the similar issues that we've been talking about with the River Club, about the tax exemptness and things along those lines.
Okay, I just.
But yes,
Popped into my head, that's all.
it could affect the methodology. But that wouldn't necessarily, methodology
Nothing to do
issues
with
don't
bonds.
involve tax bond council.
Fine.
That would involve Rosetta and their finance
Fine,
team.
okay.
so and these will be issues that we have to talk about at the end of this process. But
Yes.
to start the process, do we need a motion to appoint a work group to work with Ken on this issue?
Is that what you're
Just to do
doing?
fact finding, purely fact finding to feedback to this board.
I don't think we do. Don't we want to let Ken do his thing and then
Well,
fine?
again, I'm not sure exactly what's happening. So if Ken, let me try and express this. If Ken is going to grab a few people from the community, do some fact finding, and just provide information to this board, again, no narrowing of options, no recommendations, that's not implicating any sunshine issues. If at some point you decide that you're going to appoint a committee that is going to do some of the things that I just said, then you should have a formal appointment. And again, not the end of the world, they put their ads in, they meet in the sunshine, things along those lines.
I think it's too soon then.
So Ken just moves forward with getting information from a group of friends that he contacts and
Yes.
provides some
I
feedback.
believe that's where we are, unless the board wants to do something different.
Yeah, I can do that on an informal basis.
Good, great.
Yeah, so you'll just keep us updated.
And it's not any
Fact finding
group,
only.
That's it.
Ken will just report back to this board, this is what I found.
Yep.
Et cetera.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you for the reminder, Keith. I appreciate it.
all right,
Alrighty.
thank you.
So, thanks. And then next up, we have River Club update, Kelso.
Yes. Couple different things. So we had discussed over the weekend the Westfall roofing and the different amounts. And so I separated the two for you because it was the same amount, but you have the general project, that's the new leak, and then the original, which was included in all three of the others.
Yep,
That's what-
I figured that out when I actually bothered to read the second one and realized it was different. So I'll get that transferred.
Richmond contract, I finally got that back this morning, the signed copy, and so, we will, proceed like Mark led, with the 6th being the first day. It's good, the logistics are gonna be a little tricky because they do have a major over-the-road semi coming with, more than the allotted tons. They're gonna have 23.5 tons or 22.5 instead of 18, just because of the way that the pallets are. Was concerned with the new parking lot, and creating divots like they did with the original, boom that they had picked up, and didn't want any scarring. So, with the owner being involved, I talked to him, I just talked to the original contact, Greg, and so hasn't been the quickest of responses, but I did get the contact this morning. We will go through and just iron out the idea. I will be here on the 6th, hopefully, and we'll navigate with them the positioning of the semi. So the idea here is they will use the exit lane, this double wide, and back in, straight back in, and then use a forklift that has rubber tires to unload each of the pallets. So they will have to position them. Again, I think we need to walk with the owner just to make sure that we're on the same page exactly where it's going to lay out, because is it 4 pallets? Is it 6 pallets? I'm not really sure the number of pallets, because we didn't cover that necessarily. But they will position the pallets around the court to start the project. So talking with Mark, I think it would be best just to put out communication that we're gonna close the courts for the entire 7 days. Just logistically, it'd be difficult to navigate, because how long does it take after the hard true is put in place, that it's because they have to roll it extra, they have to prepare it, put the lines in. So I'm not familiar with that, so I want to make sure that we have the full allotted time to do it properly before they start planning on it.
So I have a question. So they can't keep the semi on Bella Vista and come in through where the shed is?
We discussed that, but the problem would be crushing the sidewalk and close that off, because there's a lot of weight on it. Because I even had suggested potentially using some of the hard true or sand that we could maybe borrow from the country club to just place the weight of it, but the pallets, each one of them are 4.5 tons apiece, so, or ish.
Why don't they offload a couple pallets onto another truck? A second truck?
Could they, just an idea, maybe get with Jay and use this end of the big parking lot of theirs or the Welcome Center, unload them there, and then pallet
Buggy
them
line
down,
up.
Yeah.
pallet them down on the forklift down to place them at the tennis courts.
Well, even if they park on Bella Vista and unload on the street onto a forklift and have the forklift just come around the corner. Just worried about this big semi sitting on the new
Yeah.
asphalt.
That's what I was thinking.
So, as it was explained to me, especially with larger semis, they do displace the weight better because they have 18 wheels. So it's really about any turning, like with it, if they're sitting still and they're rotating, just like with our commercial, our residential vehicles, there's not anywhere near as much weight, but so it creates divots in there. So the concept is to direct them to pull straight in and probably have the semi out still on the older driveway, because they indicated it would take about 45 minutes to unload it. So if they start early in the morning, that was the idea behind it, is there will be the least amount of impact on the new asphalt, but also the positioning of the forklift too, and making sure that they're able to put it where it needed to go without taking the day. They could do that in less than an hour, is what he indicated.
I don't know, it sounds like a lot of trying to control things, so we might not be able to control.
Right.
This is my personal opinion.
I discussed.
I'd rather not put a load limit on the parking lot that it's not rated for, if that's what I'm hearing. That's just my opinion, I'm one of 5, but I don't see why we would risk it.
Historically, how have we done this? Martha, do you remember how we've done this in the past by chance? Have we always backed up that semi into the exit?
No, we brought it right into the parking lot by the tennis courts in the past, back
Okay,
in 22,
okay.
but it was an older parking lot.
There's an old parking lot, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can resolve it.
I mean, I prefer not to have it on the parking lot, but the other thing is, why can't they put down some planks if they have to back it up? Get some planks, and this way helps disperse the weight even more on the tires. A lot of trucks do that. So that might be another way possibly around it. But I prefer it not to be there if possible.
So maybe we move forward with preferences that the truck not be on the new asphalt, but that Keith and Mark and Kelso kind of coordinate this to
Yep.
do what is the best for all of the
Yes.
asphalt.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna solve it here.
No, we're not.
No, and again, we just had that initial phone call just this last week.
No, I appreciate you raising the issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Just,
Appreciate
there
being able
was
to talk
several,
about
several
it.
concerns. I personally would think that if they pulled on Bella Vista and used the forklift just to come around, because they would have to drive on the asphalt, because the last thing we want is to crush the sidewalk and then have to
Sure.
replace that concrete.
Yeah, well, you guys, I think
You
Cheryl's
guys
right.
figure it out,
Yeah.
the
Cool.
best solution.
Thank you.
I did have the salamander inspected. The health department was here. The only thing that is of question, because he does not know the fire rating of the gas line itself. The other thing that would be for question is the gas line installed properly itself too? So the salamander is affixed, it is proper, it needs to have the halon suppression system that the chef assured me that they're waiting to get the parts in to install that right in front of the salamander itself. But the gas line is the only thing that he said you could contact the fire marshal and they could take a look at that gas line, but he just sees no issue with it.
Well, we had the gas line installed by a gas professional.
That's the only thing that he mentioned because he was the health inspector.
Okay.
Another thing that has come up in several conversations is the downspouts and them being dislocated, like with the mowing equipment, knocking them out. So whose responsibility is that to replace? Is that or repair? Is that necessarily Jason with Artistry, or is that LMP, or who we need to contact? Because there's actually one right here on the back bell tower that actually is being crushed. It's still working, but it's damaged. So
If LMP crushed it, I presume LMP should fix it.
Exactly.
I don't know. It wasn't fixed because the painting and the bands, were painted properly. So at one point it was when he was painting the bell tower.
Keith, can you get with LMP on that? Thank you.
I did get another estimate we met with Dave with Signature Blue. He mentioned some big projects in the future, but immediately there is the need for 2 lights that were burned out in the pools, one in the lap pool and one by the spa in the main amenity pool. So I do have that proposal for you, and you can discuss that going forward as far as the fix is concerned. Then the last thing that I have is, or not the last thing, I did find the leak in the fitness center. I have a latch coming. It should be here any day now, so that will create a barrier, because it was the latch that was rusted, and in turn the water was coming right through the latch itself, creating that musty smell and mold and mildew. Okay. And then I did discuss with Jill us getting a mold remediator company in here to assess the building with the amount of leaks that have been throughout the building.
That's right.
That is a major concern as to what degree of mold we have within the building,
If we do.
if we do. Well, there was, with the pictures that they pulled out of what was above Peggy's office, that was mold.
Okay.
So, and so the new change order, same situation. Westfall Roofing did indicate that because the roof is up, plus 20+ years, has a lifespan of 10 to 12, that you're going to keep on incurring those issues going forward. He will, repair as needed, but that is a concern going forward that those tiles are not, they're fragile, so they will be cracking.
Okay.
And then the last,
Before you go on, so are you getting a proposal for the mold identification?
I reached out to a mediator, so they have to have an inspector separate from the mediator. So
Right.
they're independent.
Yep.
So I reached out to a local person that the mediator gave me as far as the contact information. Called them twice this last week and they haven't gotten back.
Thank you.
Did I hear you right? You said that the roof is only supposed to last 10 to 12 years?
Well, the tiles themselves, I'm not getting into how, Westfall Roofing said that the roof of this age, that you will incur these going forward.
No, I understand that. I'm just a little surprised when I heard 10 to 12. I didn't know.
It's past the shelf life.
Okay.
Yep, basically, is what the indication. And then I did just receive an email from FPL this morning as to the meter that was damaged. So Synergy Electric came and replaced the box, but did not put a meter in there. So they are going off of estimated, usage around here. And so they want immediate reparation as far as getting their meter installed. I've been emailing and talking to Synergy Electric because they're the ones that put the meter in, and they should have applied for a permit to install the meter and shut the power off. They have not. So FPL is coming back saying they need this done immediately, and so Synergy is acting in the process. So it's in the works, but that is the next thing on the agenda to be taken care of in the next couple of days.
Okay. Right. Anything else? We're good.
I've got a couple of questions.
Fair
When
enough.
you're done, how
Yeah.
about? Are you
And then you did get the new cooler in the kitchen, the south corner. I have
Right.
2 more proposals for other equipment that is currently going out.
Okay, now, I think on those, so on the solid table and anything like that, it's gonna be their replacements. I know the solid table's a replacement. So those are items that are gonna be for reserves. So even if they're inside my signature limit as chair, I think it'll be important that we bring them in front of the board, especially so Ken knows that these are gonna be hitting.
He gave me an estimate, I just wanted to have the proposal for you guys and
Yep.
that'll be your next meeting.
Yeah, so, okay, that'd be great, yeah, we'll just wanna have them presented.
Yeah,
to the board,
just
so.
for season.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so when we met with Dave for the pool, I know he talked about the lights and stuff like that, but he also talked about that one pump that was basically torqued. Have you followed up with him to get an estimate on what that would be? Because I know we have to replace the piping through and through in order to get this problem fixed because of the way the pump is sitting. So the repair that Dave had done on the pump is now starting to wear again because the pump itself is torqued because of the way the pipes are fitted. So my understanding is, based on what he said, is we have to repipe everything and then get the new pump and then finish the piping on the other end. Where do we stand with that piece? Because I know that's gonna fail at some point. He said it could fail in a month or a year.
So that scope of work is gonna be in $100,000 range because it's both pumps, it's all the pipe.
Yeah.
So he is currently, putting that together because, again, the prices, when we talked to him, it was, the prices goes up and down as far as that's concerned. And he just replaced the impeller.
Yes.
And in replacing the impeller, discovered that it was not mounted properly.
Correct.
So.
With that kind of money, I think we should get at least a second, if not a third bidder,
100%.
just to make sure that we're covered on that.
So these are the original pumps.
Yes.
is my understanding. So they've gone 20 years and now we're at the point where we really do need to address that. So, okay, yeah, I agree. We need to get multiple bids.
Yeah.
So that was one question. My other question is actually, if you could direct this to Melissa for me, is there's $27,000 sitting in prepaid expenses.
Thank you for asking this.
Substantial amount of money in prepaid expenses. I would like Melissa to pull the invoices that make up that $27,000, and I would like to see how old some of those invoices are. Because we should never have that level of prepaid expenses sitting on our balance sheet. We should be actively moving that stuff off for activities that we prepay. So that's, and if we can make that a priority, what's today, the 8th, if she could get that to me by next Monday, that would be
I'm
great.
talking to her about the payments for the electric company right now, so I'll.
Okay, yeah, so if I could get that next Monday, that'd be wonderful, thank you.
And I just wanted to clarify one thing. I think I heard you say it, but with regards to the mold, you're working on getting somebody to remediate. We're not just,
Get
For the
assessed,
record,
no,
we're-
we're getting an assessment first, and
right, but we're addressing it. For the record, we're not just saying, oh, there's mold and moving
No.
on.
No, no, that's not.
Identification and remediation.
we are addressing it.
We just all want that clear. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Any other questions for Kelsey? No. Okay, let's see, next up, we have the field manager.
Good morning. So let's talk fish kill, one of our favorite subjects and one of the smellier subjects we'll be on today. Our ponds are living, breathing entities, and so some ponds never have a fish kill, and that's a blessing. All right, well, you know, like Sal's been here 20 years, his pond has never had that. That's amazing, okay? So what happens is with the heat and the rain, it starts to push, we get so much rain so fast, it pushes the top water down to the bottom and the bottom, so it's called rotating, all right? And it pushes the oxygen down. Fish aren't smart enough to follow the oxygen down, okay? And so they suffocate. Well, let's put in aerators. Aerators are not necessarily the problem. The big pond for the driving range has 3 aerators in it, right? We had a major fish kill a month and a half ago, 2 months there, okay? And we, Mother Nature takes care of about 90% of that, all right? With the vultures and the different birds come down and they eat all that. The alligators eat it. So Mother Nature helps us out there. So aerators is not necessarily the problem or the solve every issue, okay? It's just, you know, some ponds have it, some ponds didn't, right? We're lucky we just had the 2 so far, all right? But we clean it up as fast as we can, all right? We let Mother Nature take care of it, you know, as fast as we can, but it's, to know what pond's gonna happen to, you know, I've been told, well, you have people poisoning the water. Nobody's poisoning any water, okay? Those things don't happen, right? It's just Mother Nature flipping things around and causing the issues of a fish kill. Every community has them, okay? We try to clean it up as fast as we can and still allowing Mother Nature, you know, to take care of a lot of that cleanup. But it's gonna happen to a pond. It's just, as many ponds as we have, we're grateful that it doesn't happen to a whole lot more of them that we do.
So it's totally unrelated to the pond maintenance.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the fish kill is.
The fish kill, yeah, that's
Correct.
Yes.
Now, Sal showed you a picture of his floating island. That is in connection with never had that floating island, you know, with the old company, right? This kind of basically just happened, you know, a couple months after they started, right? So, and it was a pretty good size island. And, you know, their theory is, well, we'll just continue to treat it and it'll sink. Well, yeah, that would have happened over quite a period of time. And of course, Sal, being Sal, you know, he yanked it out and the golf course gave him a try and took it away from him. So, I think we're gonna resolve a lot of our pond issues with, now the golf course has been lately mowing the opposite direction, which we have talked to them about mowing out,
Right. Don't mow
not
into
be
the
blowing the,
Yeah.
the cuttings into the ponds that are adjacent to the golf course. They need to be, the golf course they're going through staff, mowers,
Right.
every other day and trying to get, I'm sure that the language barrier has a little bit to be desired with some of them. So it is a little bit of an issue with the golf course. L&P knows better. In fact, I called L&P and said, hey, he said, Keith, we tell them all the time, all the time.
7
So,
and 8, it was bad.
Oh, okay.
so, and those sides, that's the golf course that mows those
Yeah,
sections
okay.
over there. To your question earlier about L&P, the banks, yes. I've had multiple calls about the banks. And I'm not gonna defend, but I understand the reasons that some of them weren't done because of the amount of rain that we've had, makes those areas extremely slippery. And when I do get a phone call, I forward it right immediately or an email to L&P and they get out there and get it taken care of. And it is kind of treacherous on those mowers when you are mowing and it's pretty slippery slope. Okay? So we are addressing it as it comes in. I don't like to manage by crisis, and that's what I call this. Okay? Every time I get a phone call, it's like, okay, we're not, but they get out there and they take care of it.
Okay, that makes perfect sense, then I have no problem with them not mowing if it's dangerous. We're just gonna start tearing up the landscape, tearing up the turf. But is there something they can do with all the leftover stuff?
I will bring that to their attention.
Blowing or raking or something, picking up some of it, and obviously not blowing it into
putting it in
the
the
pond. Yeah, because, I get that perfectly, but if they're.
I'll have that conversation with them
Great.
today.
Thank you.
Some of you probably are getting some calls about Laurel Road and the debris that's on one side, okay? This has been when we started this with Juniper, they were supposed to be every other day picking it up. Taking it out, putting it over there, the next day it gets picked up. I guess they're having some real issues with trucks, being able to get these big trucks in to pick up these loads. I guess the golf course is having the same issue about getting these big trucks to come in, because their pile is still a pile. And so, I don't know if that's the reason, but I've had a couple, members from the city in my office discussing that issue with me. So, hey, it's getting picked up as fast as it can, and, that's what I'm having to tell them. But it's getting picked up, and, I think it's gonna be beautiful out there, once it's all said and done, so. Other than that, questions?
No, we're good.
Oh, they will be fixing the roof at the guardhouse, and then we'll come back when, decide if we're gonna paint, what color we're gonna paint, and those type of things on the roof.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Alrighty, next item on the agenda is update from the district manager. Belinda, are you online and able to provide any update? Oops. Do I have you on here for some reason? I don't think I muted. Can't hear you. I don't know why we can't hear Belinda. I have Zach muted. Could it be Zach being muted?
She was unable to speak last week, so I don't know
Oh, okay, so
if
maybe,
she's any better over the
Okay.
weekend, voice-wise.
maybe that's why I thought I heard a whisper. Okay, well, I think, on that, maybe I can just voice a couple things and follow up with Belinda then, if that's okay with everybody. I think we'll be getting, I don't think I've seen yet, a revised list of
She said, yes, look at the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking and I can't, it won't let me into the chat. It says, chat isn't available. In channel meetings, only members of the team have access to the chat. I guess I'm not a team member, I'm not a team player. It's terrible.
The audit draft is done.
Okay, the audit, okay, yep, oh, go forth and conquer.
I saw the audit draft
Okay, all right,
over the
good.
weekend.
Wow, how exciting, we're not too late.
We're late,
I
but
know we're late, yeah. Will we be getting, can she answer, will we be getting a revised list of meeting dates for next year, for next fiscal year?
It's incoming.
I know I have one other quick one. Thanks, bye Carol.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks a lot.
She said, once it's in final format, we will send it.
Okay.
And then she said, yes, we will. I'm sure that's connection with, she's still texting.
Okay,
Technology at its bestest.
that's it. Yeah, it says I'm not a team member, so I can't. be
The only
in chat.
question is October meeting date.
Oh, well, we talked about that at the workshop, so we'd like to keep the October 6th date, is that right? Am I remembering?
We want to
that
move it
right?
from the
October
13th to the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So she says, is everyone available on October 6th?
Yes.
Yes.
Including Annie.
well, I have a 1 o'clock in Parish, so.
Are you insinuating that our meetings run over?
No, I'm just letting you know.
We'll try to cut it short and
We'll
cozy,
keep
and
it brief.
you don't have to
Parish
listen
is
to the
not
last
around the
20
corner
minutes.
either.
Just so, that's what I
Understood.
have on the first, that's the first,
Understood.
that's the
Okay.
first Monday, I assume, right? That's what I
Okay.
have on the first Monday.
Got it.
Okay.
Then,
So everyone is available.
yes.
Yep.
Budget submittal is complete.
Great, yay. We met the deadline. Okay. She's still typing?
Yes.
Okay. Like the olden days, we used to wait for a telex. Yeah, fax. Right? Telexes were great.
So she asked, can you ask Jill to talk about the transfer she has been working on?
Yes, so, I think, well, there are a number that I've been working on there, and I don't know if you're aware, Cindy, but, yeah, so I've been keeping track of, let me back up, the stuff that goes on for the CDD infrastructure stuff just happens in the background, it's the River Club stuff. That happens, and so what I'm gonna do is create a list of the transfers that I've done so far, so, and what I can do is send them around to the whole board, just so you know. There were a number that were initiated to cover what's currently, in accounts payable.
Oh, okay.
So that we understand what's already earmarked for something, so there's that piece of it. And then I wanted to just raise on the record, so folks are aware, we had an email from Melissa asking for a transfer of funds for an excess amount collected on the 2025 assessments of $22,932. And then there was also an interest earned number. So I have asked Vanessa Smith, who works with Belinda, to look into that.
Thank you.
And see where those, there is not history that we have transferred those numbers before over to operating, because it's the assessments themselves that were to be funding the operations and not anything that's in excess. On the other hand, we know we are gonna be running over.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of words. I don't know if you have any questions on any of that. A lot of pieces coming and going, but.
Okay, so Vanessa, you haven't heard back from Vanessa about this 22
Um,
plus?
unless she emailed me this morning, no, all we know is
Okay.
it has never been transferred in years past.
Right, okay, so
So-
this is an ask above and beyond.
I think the point is we're trying to understand what's needed and why this is being asked for now.
Okay, so I also reached out to Melissa and Vanessa. There were supposed to be meetings to talk about cash flow, and I asked to be included on all of those
Okay.
meetings.
Okay,
And I have not seen an update for any meetings at all to date,
okay,
to be invited to anything.
okay, what's Monday, so it could be.
Yeah.
Belinda also said, plus the request to transfer interest and excess funds.
Yes, and that's for
Yeah.
Belinda, that's actually what we just covered, which was,
Okay.
you know, but it could well be because we are running over,
Uh-huh.
and that's why Melissa may well be asking for that. So,
Okay.
because there are so many funds coming and going with the repairs and all the other work and these kinds of things, I've got a really careful record of everything that has been transferred, for River Club.
For River Club.
From reserves.
From reserves
Yes.
specifically, because
Yes.
we know we've been having that.
And from the hurricane fund, which was only for the painting job.
Okay,
Pretty
gotcha.
sure on those.
Yes, yeah, and that was
The hurricane,
operating,
yeah.
that wasn't reserved, right? That came out of
That's
operating? Okay,
That fund is in operating.
okay, thank you.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to something that I said back in December, January, that, because I had questioned Belinda on money in reserves, and she said there's really no listing or accounting being done specifically by anybody, really. I think we really should set up a detailed accounting of any time that we spend money outside of Investor or Hampton. Whenever we approve stuff, we should know what that is, because, with reserves or capital or whatever, it doesn't seem to be happening that we all see it, and that should be.
We're not all seeing it. I do think we're at a period of time where there are a really inordinate number of things going back and forth with all the roof repairs and the painting and the parking lot.
But I think there's money that could be.
Fair enough, and then you try to track it back
Yeah,
through the data
and as this-
statements, it's
yeah,
hard to
and
do,
as this
because it's a
building-
lot of
And
money.
as this building ages and things are gonna keep on, and then we start adding on the salon. And we're gonna add, outside, new furniture,
Sure. Fair
office
enough.
space, locker rooms. There's gonna be a lot of that going back and forth. I think we really need to figure out a system here of tracking all of these purchase orders or approvals and expenses. And so we really
Well, there's the operational piece and then there's reserves.
Yes,
Correct.
yes,
Yeah.
on both sides, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, let's handle that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else for Belinda. Is Belinda still typing, Keith?
No.
No? For Belinda. Okay, so I think we're done there. Now, before we go to business items, does anybody need a break?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 11:06 and we'll go off the record for, let's call it 10 minutes.
Great, thank you.
Rolling.
We're rolling.
All right. Okay, so we're going back on the record at 11:14 a.m. The next item on the agenda is, which I think we covered, under Rick's review, is the review and discussion of speed bump installations. So that was covered already under the engineer's report. The next item is 6B, discussion of communication to residents regarding hiring new amenities company.
Yeah, I put that on.
Okay.
Well, it's a twofold purpose. Many residents have no idea that we changed amenities companies. Many residents have no idea why we decided to change amenities companies. I think we should send out a memo to the residents advising them of all the shortfalls that we've had from Vesta. And then explain to them, because they don't understand what's been happening here. That's a question, we can discuss that if you want. But at the very least, we should let them know that a new company is starting on October 1. We should also let them know that it's our intent, our hope that the employees stay, because a lot of people explain, oh, you got to run the management company, we're losing all the employees. And that's no, we want the employees to stay. And I know that's coming up later in the discussion. I said, but that's a whole nother issue. But I said the residents should be told what's happening here, because they're in the dark. I mean, we're kind of in the dark, but they're really in the dark.
So I agree with you, but I think we have to be careful with communication. I would say that there has been months of discussion in the board meetings regarding the amenities management company. They can always go back and you could even say in parentheses, audio available if you would like to review those discussions. But given all the information available to the board elected to move to a new amenities management company. We want the employee, but I think there's a way to do it without, I don't want to rehash.
I 100% agree.
That's fine,
I mean,
that's fine.
Obviously, it's a policy decision of yours, but I do think there's some benefit to those who don't know, letting the community know that you're transitioning to a new team. But there's a lot going on between Hampton, Vesta, and the CDD. We don't know where it's going. We hope that everything, will move in the direction that everybody wants it to. But I don't necessarily want to start throwing words around right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is from the district manager.
Yeah.
Remind the board that this has been a topic in the meeting summaries
Yes.
sent as well. Plus, this was an RFP process.
No, it wasn't.
It was not, we didn't RFP this one.
We did not. We weren't required to.
Bid,
But we did get bids.
Yeah,
We did get bids. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
get bids. It was
Yeah.
public presentations,
Right.
yeah.
But a lot of people just don't read the minutes. And I think we should just let them know that we are.
Are you getting questions? I'm curious. Okay.
I just got a couple this past week from people who, and a lot of it is really related to what's going on with the staff.
Yeah.
Those are the questions I'm getting.
That's the biggest one. It's like, what's happening with the staff? And even the staff doesn't know what's happening to the staff. But the residents don't know what's happening to the staff, and the staff are going, well, we want the staff, they know who we are, we want them to stay. And I'm saying, well, we want them to stay too, but right now, we're kind of having our hands tied. But we want the staff to stay. I think everybody on the board wants the staff to stay. I think all the residents want the staff to stay.
I mean, this is a big change. I agree we should send something out. We can do an email, which actually brings up one of the things I talked about with the POA is they would like to see all communications from any organization in the Venetian identify at the top who it's coming from.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of confusion in the community about who's sending what.
That's
So
a good
we
point.
could actually
Valid
start
point.
that with this communication.
Yeah.
I'm happy to write something if you want me
That'd be
to.
great.
If you just,
You're right, well, please do.
so I'm just gonna hit this is what happened, brief. This is the company we're changing to. We expect, our goal is that the majority of the staff stay. Hampton Golf is working with the staff, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, do you want me to run it by you before I send it?
If you'd like to.
I see that head nodding,
That'd be
okay.
great.
So I'll do
I'm
that.
perfectly fine with
That'd
that.
be great, thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, and
You read very well, so that's
yeah,
fine.
absolutely. Okay, so we're happy with that. And personally, I'm happy if you're happy with it and Andy's happy with it.
Yeah,
I don't-
yes,
yeah, I don't need- I don't
absolutely.
need to see, yes.
I don't need to see it.
Maybe you could send it
I'll
for
try and
info.
do it quickly. I will have Andy review it, then I'll send it for info.
Just before we, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Cheryl.
Excellent. So next item on the agenda is the transition update, which is mine. Let me grab a couple things out here, and I'm probably gonna ask some questions, because I know, Cindy, there were 4 things that I wanted to go over here. One is systems, one is financials, and we talked a little bit about who closes.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about what I'll call the staff delay, because I have a couple things I want to say on that. I mentioned that during the workshop. And then I know you're wondering when Hampton's going to be on site. First thing I wanted to ask, so Cindy, do you or does anybody know, I asked Andy, and he thinks we do. Do we own the PCs and the systems in here? Can you think of anything that we don't own? I don't think we rent or lease PCs used anywhere. I think they're
We
all,
own those.
we own them.
We
I mean, the computer at the front desk, the computers in the offices, we own.
correct, including all associated logins.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's the other question.
yes, everything would be ours.
Yeah, everything, yeah, all the equipment, all the stuff at Amazon, all the bankrupt boxes, all
Yes. The
that
Amazon account,
piece of paper, that piece of paper has been paid
Yes.
for by the Venetian.
yes.
Yeah.
And I did talk to Stephanie. She gave me the 2 email accounts or access accounts. I did not ask her for passwords or anything like that. I just needed to know, what accounts are used for auto billing and things like that. So they auto bill Sling, TV.
Yep.
And I wrote down the other 2 and I don't have them with me, but there's a couple of things that are auto billed that are going directly to her credit card that we'll need to address.
The only thing we could think of is who's hosting the website and who's hosting the email accounts.
And
That's-
yes, and so now you're onto some, I'm glad we're having this discussion, because, there are some systems questions have come up regarding, Encore, the financial reporting,
Right,
the stuff that runs the club.
That's
And-
ours.
And I think because it's ours, I think we're gonna have to start to take control of it,
okay.
of the situation, and it, so, I don't know whether I'm putting more stuff on you.
No.
Hampton, I think will be here. I'm gonna get the exact date. This has nothing to do with meeting with staff. It has to do with meeting with people like us to talk about getting some stuff done probably this week.
Right.
So-
So I will tell you that all the required Hampton staff has received admin access
Okay,
to the modules that they need, that we have. So we're good there. I think to me right now, like I said, I'm working with Stephanie, but I can start gathering that information from Stephanie, logins and all the information to make sure we have that all organized.
yes,
She is also the one who has the access to a lot of the website information.
And the-
She
and-
is
and the email-
that-
And the email accounts.
And the email accounts, yes. So I will work with Stephanie and get all that together.
okay.
Mhm.
Oh, that's excellent. So my ignorance is gonna show, do the Jonas modules that include, like Mark was talking about, the bookings for, tennis courts and pools and dining and, not pools, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Does Jonas have access to look at that stuff yet? Do you know?
Jonas or Hampton?
Oh, sorry, Hampton.
Hampton should have access to all that stuff,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I saw a follow-up email, I haven't read it yet. There was a question about the CHO module from
Yes.
Justin back to Melissa.
And what does that one operate?
That is like the overarching admin, gives you the
Okay.
behind the scenes, the
Okay.
encore and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So I gotta follow up with Melissa and see where the shortfall is there, but they have their admin rights to everything that they need to start building their interfaces into their systems.
okay,
So I have not heard anything that they haven't been able to get in and do what they need to do
Okay.
yet. But I will stay in contact with Dee Dee and Carol?
yes, Carol LeBron.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, so I know there's a long list of stuff that Hampton's been waiting for, so maybe we can just work
Yes, and
work
I'll,
through that ourselves. Did we, I guess we're still gonna have to come to a conclusion on, you raised the question of who closes, and I think we're still gonna have to hash that one through. I don't feel that what's your feeling?
Well, I think that Hampton should review the close no matter what, regardless of who closes, they're going to anyway.
Sure.
I think you need to have a conversation with Hampton about, they might have specific protocols about doing it or not doing it. So.
Yeah.
I think we need them to weigh in.
I would, it would be my preference that they did the year-end close, but if they choose not to, they at a minimum need to review all the balance sheet and make sure that they are comfortable with those beginning balances that they're starting with on October 1st.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important that Melissa get me that $27,000 in prepaid, because if write-offs need to happen, I want them happening under Vesta.
Right.
I don't want them happening under Hampton.
Understood.
Yeah, so
Makes sense.
we've got it, I'll start going through the balance sheet line by line now
Okay.
and taking a look and seeing that and seeing what we need to clean up, because if we do anything, I want to take all the hits. Or,
Kitchen sinking.
yeah, pretty much, that's my thought
And
process.
speaking of that a little bit, I know that you guys were working, the auditors were looking back at the old things and they were waiting for records from Vesta. Did that ever get resolved?
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think the short answer is yes, related to the
Well, Linda would
audit.
have to weigh in. All I can tell you is I saw a draft audit come
That's
across
my
my
point.
email this past weekend.
Okay.
There's nothing being held up for the
Okay,
audit,
well-
and I think, this may, if we're able to do the close, if Hampton are able to do the close, I think that alleviates some of the back and forth that we've had about timing of management fees, et cetera.
Okay.
They still have to
Yes.
be available.
Yes,
They'd have to be available for questions, but I don't
Right.
think there's gonna be an issue with that. I think Melissa's been a good partner.
yes, yeah,
in that,
Melissa's been great.
so,
But yeah, I think, I think it's important that Hampton is comfortable with what they've got from a financial
Absolutely,
perspective
Yeah.
when we step into
And
this.
us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, and so I'll let you know, I'm gonna be talking to Hampton late today, so I'll let you know when they might be on site. We can start talking about some of these
okay,
asset issues that we're, been talking about. So I wanted to apprise the board and also put on the record, and I spoke to Andy about this, a little bit of background. Andy alluded to the fact that there's been some discussion, between the parties, including between, the Venetian CDD, and Vesta regarding getting this organized. So I wanted you all to have the supervisors and also on the record to have the background. So, and I'm working off some notes here. Vesta has predicated access to staff on a restrictive covenant, which I think we've talked about in previous meetings. And to my knowledge, nobody either at Hampton or at the CDD has seen the restrictive covenant. Vesta has said they'll waive the covenant if Hampton pays a fee to Vesta, which they've described as steeply discounted to what Vesta is currently paying in a separate transaction or transition. And this is the interesting thing to me, and this is why I wanted to bring it up on the record. Vesta claimed the fee represents the sunk cost, this is a quote, sunk cost of training and development of the employees.
Joe, can you hold the mic a little closer?
Yeah, so, sorry. Vesta claimed the fee represent the sunk cost of training and development of the employees. And I looked at our contract, and so far as I understand, the definition of the burden includes Article 2.
We pay for all employees' costs, training, everything.
100%.
Yeah,
they
so,
just
you know,
cleared out 4 quarters worth of bills for compliance training.
there you go.
And I-
QED, as my high school algebra teacher used to say.
That's what the 30% burden is, to cover
Exactly.
all employee
Exactly.
costs.
So, Hampton's asked to see the covenant, but Vesta's refused to provide it while still insisting on payment. So I wanted you all to know that because it's a background to an exchange that happened in the middle of last week. Andy and I had requested a call with Vesta's counsel to see if the CDD could at least try to weigh in on this, situation to, if you will, I've used the phrase before, to try to cut the Gordian knot. And their counsel declined talking to us on the premise, his assumption that we wanted to discuss the same points that they're arguing with Hampton about over the restrictive covenant and the fee that they want to be paid.
Jill,
So, yes?
can you check your mic on Teams to see if it's not muted?
It's not.
Okay.
Okay, am I not coming through? Turn audio on. Yeah, no, it's definitely definitely not muted. I checked it.
She just said we can't hear Jill. Ask her to check the.
Turn audio on. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear her now?
Yes. Testing 1, 2, 3.
You're a good sport, Keith.
No?
He's texting her.
That's the wire it in.
I'm not a fast texter.
Okay. So I use the microphone.
Forget a teenager.
Well, it'll be on YouTube, I guess, so I can keep going. All right,
She said no, so,
No.
well,
Well-
she's typing back, so.
I don't know. Well,
We're interrupting Jill's flow.
that's okay. No, it's fine. I'm good. I'm used to
She can
being.
hear everybody else though?
Well, I don't think she's on there.
Okay.
She's on Teams.
Well, at least it'll be on there, though.
Yes.
I'm sorry, well, she'll have to watch it on the replay, I guess. So the reason I wanted everybody to have the background is because the end result was, I'd asked Andy if he could kindly contact Vestas Council to see if we could weigh in, and he said he didn't feel it would be productive, so I decided to send an email to put our concerns on the record. And what I wanted to do was, it's not a terribly long email, to read it, to put it on the record, because it's about the staff, and I feel it's important.
Belinda's saying maybe leave the meeting and reconnect. I don't know if that's something you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that needs to be what you're about ready to read the.
Sign in. Oh, I know why. They can use another account. Yeah, it's a whole big mess.
Can
do
we
you want-
call
Well, let me try and connect.
Okay. Shall I wait? It's probably gonna be very
Can we
fast.
call her on the cell phone or something?
I'll try.
I could. You got her? Okay, just put the phone up here then. Sorry, everybody on YouTube and the audience. Look, the phone ringing.
I'm gonna put you on speaker. You're on speaker.
Okay, all right, and she's on mute.
Did you guys have an internet issue?
No.
Okay, because we're all connected, but
Okay, so you
can
guys,
we reconnect?
Cheryl's trying, I don't know what the issue is for me.
Well, I do know the internet went down for a flash because I lost
Maybe it knocked me off.
connectivity and then maybe it knocked you off.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Cheryl, do you need us to resend you the link?
No,
Okay, there you are. I see
Cheryl's
you.
in. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
in.
All right, so
Okay,
you
good.
guys will mute, Belinda?
We can hear you now.
Okay, and you'll
Okay.
mute. Okay, or you'll hang up. Got it.
You can hear her through Teams?
Did Ken hang up?
Okay.
That's why. Okay.
Sounds like shut.
Right. So I really do want to get this email on the record though, because I think it's important for the staff to hear it. This was sent by me to Vestas Council, copy to Andy. Thanks for your perspective. I asked for the call, the reason being serious concern about the staff's well-being and some questions from my end. I recall in 2020, when we transitioned to Vesta from Icon, the CDD board at the time insisted that Vesta onboard every single Icon staff member at our club, including the GM, which you willingly did, and it's unknown to me if you paid Icon. This was born out of that board's concern for the staff. I'm struggling to understand how we got from that to where we are today. In practical terms, to my simple mind, it seems Venetian paid for much, if not all, of the training and recruiting of staff through the burden paid to Vesta through our relationship. But we would never want that investment to stand in the way of a staff member doing what's best for them and their families, even if that means leaving the club and staying with their current employer, Vesta. It's just business and everyone has a right to make their way in the world. I accept that Vesta may not be pleased with some of the recent public exchanges, but we have no choice due to sunshine law. I also believe that Venetian has been on the receiving end of significant negative impacts clearly under Vesta's control and contractual obligation, such as large budget overruns and the liquor license violation issue earlier this year. No one is walking away from this business relationship in a happy state, but I'd at least like to see the staff not caught in the middle and simply free to choose how to make money and live their lives. They're the ones with the most at stake in real terms. Perhaps this saves a call, but if we can still find time to speak, I see only upside. At least now you have most of what I wanted to convey, and I appreciate you listening. And that's what I wanted on the record, because for me, it's about the staff.
Yes, 100%.
No, absolutely, I totally agree with that. I'm still at a loss to understand what this restricted covenant is. I sent Andy something last week that the Department of Labor actually passed a law that employment agreements, non-competes, are illegal in the United States. They're also not enforceable in Florida if you make less than half, if you don't make twice what the average salary is, which is like $85,000 a year. So it's not enforceable. We haven't seen these things. They're not producing these things. Actually, the employee might be able to sue for tortious interference of them not being able to talk to Hampton about possible employment. So I don't understand why this just goes around and round and round.
Well, here's the issue, is that I have also spoken with employment counsel that I work with for a lot of my CDDs. And it all comes down to the fact that we need to see the agreement. If one exists, and it may, but if it exists, we would like to see it. Hampton would like to see it. We'd like to know who signed it and when. Then we can evaluate what each party's rights and responsibilities are. They have their reasons that they keep voicing, but to my knowledge, nobody has seen the agreement. I certainly haven't seen it. I don't believe Hampton has seen it. I don't believe anyone from the CDD has seen it.
So how could you violate an agreement that they refused to provide to you to let you know what you would be violating if you were to do so? I mean, that seems to me.
And asking for money
Yeah.
for things that have already been paid for.
By us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like it's a
Or
shame.
based on an agreement that they're not providing, and it's been this circular argument.
So why, so, I mean, I believe that they were given an ultimatum date of, and that passed and whatever, based on what you said to me, that, so why do we still believe that this agreement exists, and why are we just letting them just?
I mean,
because
Jill can speak to this, but I believe that Hampton is moving forward at this point.
Yeah, I'll know more later. Hampton are discussing what to do.
And we've been in touch with Hampton's counsel. They've been involved. I mean, we've talked to all parties.
But the crime of it is, we have, staff here who are stuck in the middle and trying to pay their bills. And that's-
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So anyway, I guess we don't need to.
And they need to make a decision. I mean, we would like them to be able to have everything in front of them, to be able to make the decision that's gonna be the best for them and their families. And
this is business. Let's just
this is
get on with
business.
it.
And so to any staff that might be listening on video or later, we are spending a lot of time, energy, and dollars trying to have you stay with us. So please be aware that that is our goal. So regardless of what you're hearing elsewhere, please let that be known.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Should we move on to the exciting topic of painting of monuments?
Sure. Good transition.
Was this you, Rich?
Yeah, that was me. We put it on because we said we were going to put it off for a couple of weeks and discuss it again this
Right.
meeting. I mean, I would like to see them done just because I think it'd be nice to have something to have the monuments look refreshed, especially in light of painting the guard shack for the people, just to show that there are improvements. And again, it's not a deal breaker for me, but I would surely like to see that. So and I know Cheryl had mentioned that.
Yeah, we're looking at it. We're waiting for the landscape.
And I know that,
Right, my desire would be to wait for the design for the front entrance all the way down Benito to see what we're gonna do with the monuments before we paint them, just so we don't redo it. And I don't think, I think the guardhouse looks great, this building looks great. I think people notice that before they notice the monument signs.
Well, but
So I actually have one favor in regard to the monument signs. As you pull into the Venetian, the guard shack looks absolutely fabulous. There's a monument on the right and the left side that haven't been painted, and it pops out.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there's gonna be any
Oh,
lands.
next to the guard shack.
Yeah, well, it's like maybe 50
Is it
yards.
on
of-
golf course property?
No.
If it is, we can.
No, it's actually, so as you're pulling in on Benito off of Laurel.
The one that says Welcome Center, sorry, I'm trying to.
no,
figure out-
No,
it's a
it's-
little,
It's a-
it's like a
it's
little
a
obelisk.
It's like a little
It's like a-
obelisk, yeah, and it's, it's
Looks like it
yellow,
needs a statue of
orange.
Venus
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, there you go. So it just looks out of place when you take a look at the gatehouse. It's minor, I know it's minor, but it caught my eye.
That's fine, I'm just more worried about all the way down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Benito. I mean,
Understood.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, actually, most of the monuments are not, there's a lot of monuments on Passaro
Yeah,
and outside the club here, around the circle that.
we're still gonna be messing, if we decide to do something with the monuments on Veneto, we will do that with all the monuments. So I just still think we should wait on those. I have no problem with the obelisk. But there you go.
Thank goodness.
Keith, you know what they are, right, Keith?
You know which ones I'm talking about, right?
Is there a sign on them?
No, there's no sign.
No,
There's
there's
no
no sign.
sign.
It looked like it
It's-
was
it's
Would
like-
they be removed?
It's like 2 foot by, it's like 2 foot, it's like a 2 foot by 2 foot,
Can we just take
Like
it
like
away?
5 foot
I
tall.
think they just need to be removed then, because if they're serving no purpose.
They used to have a flower pot on top.
Is that what it was? There was a flower pot on
Or,
top? Okay.
unless you want to use that to put a sign on it, slow down or something like that, or welcome to the Venetian.
Yeah, welcome home. Where's her?
No, we need stuff.
Wait, well, should we consider taking them down then? I mean, does that, since I can't even visualize what they look like, I have to go
Okay.
back out there.
Well, tell you what,
Let's all look and discuss it.
Let's
discuss
all-
it.
Yeah, yeah,
You can
let's
take a
take
look,
a
we'll
peek,
discuss
yeah.
this
Because
week.
I'm trying to figure out where this is.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
I'll make sure that goes on the agenda for the next.
So,
Just, I got a question up. So how long do you think it's gonna be before we get a plan and then we decide and then get those things painted? Because it could be a year from now.
I
And I
don't,
just don't want to,
I don't think it'll take that long. I think that he should actually have the landscape design to us within a month or so. I told him we wanted to have like decisions by Thanksgiving, so.
okay.
I think let this process run, and if it goes longer than that, Rich, we can come back to this.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great
No,
idea.
let's go on. Okay.
So, before we move on
Yeah,
that subject,
go.
under tab 2, Keith put together the updated signs.
I don't like those signs.
Okay? These are consistent with what we have up today. So do you want us to take a look at redesigning them? These are the ones that are basically right on the gatehouse today, where the golf club entrance is, the sign to the River Club at corner of Passaro and Benito.
I think we need to,
I don't like the purple myself.
Yeah, we don't want, I don't want
It's
purple.
like
We gotta do
golden
the
burgundy, it did,
Yeah.
yeah.
purple. We gotta
Okay.
change, if we're gonna change this, if we're gonna change the monuments, we gotta change the signage, so let's wait until we do it all together.
Okay, Keith, let's go back to the drawing, oh, it did, Dad. Let's go back to the drawing board. Thank you. All right, thank
I
you.
like the no solicitations.
I do like that one.
It's a good one. Let's see, item E, 6E, discussion regarding golf club landscape cleanup. That might be Ken. Can we hear Ken though? This is the problem. See, uh-oh. Now we can't hear Ken, that's the problem.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh, Cheryl's got to
He's
turn
on
the
my
volume up.
computer, okay, keep going.
Okay,
Oh, much
This-
better. Oh, ouch.
okay,
Yeah, fine, sorry. Go ahead.
all right. I don't think I put this on, but
Oh,
the latest is that I've been told they have budgeted an amount to clean up and re-landscape around both the golf club and the welcome center. I don't have a timetable. But, my understanding is there are plans to do that.
It includes the yard.
Does,
Does it include the yard, Ken, you know, like the maintenance yard, you know?
That I don't know.
it does not, what I saw, I got pictures from Kaz. I think we all have different contacts on the advisory board for the golf club, so, yeah. Kaz sent me the pictures that, Jay shared with the committee, because he has signed the contract in these pictures, but it's all around. It's the parking lot, the driving range, all the way down to where the 18th hole would come out to Passaro. And that's the area that they'll be working at. So it has nothing to do with the maintenance area. However, he did apparently get an order in to have the debris removed. And the only reason it's as big as it is now is because with all the rain, they haven't been able to mow. So when they're not mowing, they're trimming. So that's what all that is. That's why it is so much right now. But he's having the same trouble Juniper's having getting trucks here to remove debris. But I know that he has put the order in, and so that's everything I know.
So I'm still holding off on sending it.
Yeah, hold off, yeah.
Yeah.
Could we
And I actually left a message for Jay, by the way, just for my own edification, apologizing for my part in the conversation, because he listened to the audio from the last meeting and he was very distressed. And so I said, listen, I apologize, but I said, I think the problem is communication. We have to, I mean, clearly Ken didn't know you were signing a contract, and so I'm gonna follow up with him in person, just to say, you know, even when I talk to him, I don't always get communication back. It's not that he's not doing anything, but yeah, anyway.
Okay, Jay, since you watch these meetings, can we please do something by cleaning up, a little cleanup on the maintenance yard side? Thank you.
And then, the area between the 6th and 7th holes, like right before you go to the, station, there's that little area
It's
in
a
there.
little
where you
rough
get,
there.
it's a little rough there, yeah, just that little area.
Cool. Alrighty then. So item 6F, we've already covered, I think, discussion regarding golf club update, which we talked to you, Andy, about how we go forward, and we know what Ken is doing. So that's been covered. 6G, discussion of River Club rule and consequence for non-payment of club charges, which to me is related to also to 6H to some degree, because we'll be talking about rules. So I had forwarded to everybody the update, some potential updates of the rules document. And, you know, this may be affected if we do decide, you know, if we're gonna be taking credit cards with whatever the rate is, and we need to talk about that in item 6H. You know, it will impact what's in the rules document. So maybe what we could do, maybe what we should do is talk about this after we talk about 6H. What do you all think? I think we should talk about the credit card.
That's fine.
The credit card
Yeah.
item first,
That's
because I
good.
think that's kind of the linchpin for the situation here. So, sorry, I have this microphone in my hand and I got stuff here.
So Hampton Golf has recommended 2.5%.
They have recommended 2.5%, and they've recommended 2.5% because you don't want to go over actual fees paid. You can't be seen to be you can't be making money on the fees. I double checked with Jamie Selby, and Laurel Oak charges 2.5%, and the CFO recommended that we go with 2.5%. We did take a vote at the last meeting, so I think what we would have to do would probably, we just have a new motion for a credit card fee?
Well, in what regard? Because you motioned to do 3%?
Yes,
So we want to change it.
we should have a motion.
I make a motion to 2.5%.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ken, are you? Thank
Aye,
you.
okay.
Aye.
Okay, so, so that was the first thing, we agreed on the rate. The second thing is the email itself. Now, Dee Franklin, the CFO, looked at the email to residents and she said, it's fine. I did have a couple questions for her because the question has come up about debit cards. And my understanding from her is that in restaurants, many, including most of the ones at Hampton, do not recognize debit cards as debit cards. If they say Visa or MasterCard on them, they're charged as a credit card. So Kelso is gonna kindly look into, or unless maybe do you have any update on that?
So it's a setting in Jonas.
Okay.
And so the
Okay.
default is there's no differentiation. But
Okay.
they can update and they can add that as an option, the difference between debit and credit card. So like when we go to the gas station and you pay,
Yeah.
there's no differentiate. You use your debit, they charge you still the same price as credit, even though it's a debit card. So it's a setting that Jonas has an option to do that.
Okay.
Now, does the person have to do anything, or is it automatically recognizes the card?
Right, so again, it's a setting there that they can do that based upon the numbers of the card, because debits have a different, number of variation than.
So
credit
Jonas
cards.
automatically does that, the way
It's not automatically, but it's a setting that they can add to.
It's a mechanical step we're gonna have to take, because I think the message aside, I think the two onward things that we have to pay very close attention to are the mechanical pieces that have to happen, and then how we communicate to residents to let them know what's
And
happening.
I wanted to talk about that,
Please,
because
yeah.
I sent an email about this, especially which loops back to your previous agenda item. If we're gonna be making changes to the rules, and we're gonna be implementing what is, and even though I know it's just a pass-through, it's potentially a new fee, that if we should most likely go through the rulemaking process, which would entail having a public hearing and would put us probably at your second October meeting, just because of the
So
notices
it would
that
have to
need
be
to be
November
built in.
1st.
So, it will put a little bit of a time lag on it, but it would help with your communication, it would provide a public hearing, it
Yeah,
would provide all sorts of notice to button this issue up.
that's a good point. I mean, we lose a month of fees, but I think I'd rather see this done right.
Me too, absolutely.
And I think that's a good belt and suspenders approach,
So do you need a motion for the
just to
staff?
authorize staff to
Or
proceed with the
direction?
rulemaking process.
You need a motion or just direction?
Motion.
Oh, so I'm gonna make the motion for staff to initiate the rulemaking process.
Second.
And this can also button up some other issues that might come up. It's not just credit cards, it's anything in the.
I always try to make our notices broad
Broad as
enough, because I
possible.
know you
Okay,
guys
perfect.
sometimes find
Okay,
other
yeah,
issues.
But
we
I
have
do think we're gonna have some changes in tennis.
Okay.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
thinking the same
I
thing.
was
Yes.
contacted about that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
okay, so we have a second. Do we have a second? Okay, yeah, okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Yay, okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Good, so that actually shortens up the discussion on that somewhat. And thank you, Kelso, for finding out that info on the Jonas setting. That sounds,
Yeah.
sounds like it's gonna solve issues. And I think, nobody wants to be, unnecessarily charging.
And
A fee.
maybe I'm misinterpreting, there was an email earlier that said the verbiage for convenience versus surcharge, right? I mean, so is the convenience the correct term to use?
Yes.
Okay.
We were told and I'm happy, I'll forward you that email from the.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that
Yeah.
it's the right tone.
Yeah, and it is really a convenience fee, and yes, we do need to use that term for sure.
It looks
so.
like we can they just changed the rulemaking notice timeframes. It's now 35 days, but looks like we should be able to make that October 27th,
Okay.
assuming the paper can cooperate with us.
Okay, so we know we're moving along on that one. I did want to just see, well, we can sit on this, we can sit on this draft a little bit. I do think as a board, though, do we want to talk now about if we're going to accept credit cards, at point of sale, do we also want to accept them for monthly? I think,
I think you said you're gonna discuss that with Hampton.
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I would leave,
I'll ask
I would ask them, because then it was
Yes,
good.
I did say that.
Yeah, and there could be some labor involved in that on their end, from a cost
Yeah.
perspective.
I forgot, I
Yes.
said that. Okay.
Although we have had a couple of instances where people have had to use their credit card, so I've authorized it because they had no other means to
No,
pay.
that's fine.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it makes sense to do it, just to go on the record to say that.
Yeah.
And you were gonna say
You know,
something?
the other consideration, and I agree, we should round up Hampton, but the other consideration is we pay a transaction fee, so if they're using it at every point of sale
Plus a small-
transaction, we're paying a higher fee than if they put it on their member number
Right.
and pay it
Yes.
once at the end of the month.
Yep,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I will talk to them about that. Alrighty, and then, okay, just in, final thing in terms of rules, I'm not sure, Kelso, whether you have the final document or not. We did make some changes in August, specifically on the pool, the lap, or the pool hours. And I don't think it's posted
Okay.
on the River Club website. The one from April's still there, so I think it would be great to have it up there. We'll have to do it again in a couple of months, but it would be great if we can just make sure we have the final one up there. Would be excellent. Item 6I, if we're done with those two items then, is discussion of change to change to the CDD liaison to the POA. We had meant to put this on, we meant to discuss it on the record at the last board, and I think I forgot. So do we just need to put on the record that Cheryl is now the POA liaison from the CDD?
Get the crown.
You do. Yep, the crown and scepter, right?
Thank
Orb
you,
and
Cheryl.
scepter. And then item 6J, which is acceptance of the 2025 strategic plan. Ken? Anything we need to know?
I have a question, because on the strategic plan that's in the attachment, I had sent to Belinda a request, and maybe I just need to understand this better, but I'm thinking it is, under goals and objectives, under landscape, the landscape and facilities committees will promote community-wide adherence to landscaping and architectural standards. So there are no landscaping standards in the CDD. So does this imply that, and we don't have any say over streetscape standards, which is completely under the purview of the POA. So I'm still confused about
I thought
what
this
it
was
is
coming out.
landscape. I thought it was too, and I sent in some changes, but they aren't reflected here.
Well, the CDD is under the is kind of felt, has the massive declaration.
No, it doesn't.
No.
No, that's the
That's the
POA.
POA.
The CDD.
You're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I changed this, I didn't get any corrections from anybody or additional changes, but I changed what we talked about at the last meeting. And I took out, this should have been a red line version, I don't know what happened, but the one I'm looking at is red line, but the one that went in there is not. I took out the collaborating with the POA Architectural Control Committee, but I left the concept that we would, and maybe promotes the wrong word, that we would basically attempt to follow the community-wide standards where appropriate.
So in what I
That
had
was the
sent,
intent.
yeah, just so you know, what I had sent to Belinda was that sentence should be changed to, the landscape committee will promote common area projects to enhance our reputation as a premier community, promote beautification, and enhance security along our natural perimeter.
I like that.
Very good, very good.
So,
Okay, from
okay. And then I actually, under number 4, under resident satisfaction, I think we have under there an external contractor, but I thought we were gonna maybe use Hampton Golf.
I thought we wanted to keep, well, I thought, we talked about that because Hampton will do their own survey, but I thought we had wanted to leave the concept of an external provider of a
So use
survey.
because this one commits us to using that in addition to Hampton Golf.
I would change it to a possible,
I would,
I don't think it does. because technically Hampton Golf is an external contractor.
Well, that's a good point.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so scratch that second one you're gonna get from Belinda, just the landscape piece. Thank you.
This is opposed to us doing it ourselves, which
No,
we did.
no.
Which was awful, yes, okay.
Looks like self-surgery. Sorry.
Okay, thanks, Ken, I appreciate it.
So could we approve it
We
with
can,
changes as
subject to the
noted?
changes.
Subject to the
Okay.
changes.
As noted
Okay,
on
so I'm
the
gonna
record.
make a motion, that we approve it subject to the changes, noted on the record.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. Shazam. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of work. Thank the committee too for us, please. Appreciate it.
Yes.
And then I think, we'll, once that's final, I guess, I think we have that on the CDD website.
Yeah.
And I think Belinda will utilize it for your goals and objectives that we're required to
Yes,
do.
that's a
each year.
great point. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's good. That's gonna be due again soon.
It already is annually. Yes.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Next item, business administration, that's consideration of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on August 25th, 2025. Are there any changes? to
I have
minutes?
one change
Okay.
on line 89. It says Hampton Golf can be provided with view-only access. That should be read-write access. They should have basically or you can change it to admin access, either way.
Okay, so that's a change.
And I had one change on line 71. It says the River Club is not a hardened facility. I think that meant hurricane, not hardened. Was it supposed to be hardened?
That's the term, I think. I think the term
Either one
is
is
hardened.
fine.
Oh, okay. If the term is hardened, I'm fine.
That's fine.
Well, hurricane
It
maybe.
just seems weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it refers to the windows, I guess.
Like
Yeah,
4 to
no,
5.
yeah, exactly. I think it's correct. So, okay, then I'll be looking for a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 8, consent items. We have 2 items for consent. The acceptance of advisory committee meeting minutes, the landscape committee meeting minutes of June 16, 2025, and the meeting minutes from the fitness and pool advisory committee, meeting dated June 18th, 2025. Any changes? Otherwise, I'd be looking for a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 9, I think we can probably take advisory committee, do we want to have advisory committee liaison reports removed as an agenda
We can
item?
leave that if we have
We'll leave
anything.
it?
If we have anything else, if
Okay,
we have
we'll leave
anything else
it.
to add,
Okay,
we
we'll
throw it
leave
in.
it.
If not, we just.
Okay, that's cool.
I
All right.
actually have one advisory committee comment.
Fire away.
Also, the discussion about the tennis courts and things like that, we need to send a communication to the community, letting them know.
Yeah, I just need to figure out and, we can discuss that at length, because there's a couple things that, I just have questions about. And so before sending out communication about the tennis
Okay.
courts, I just want to make sure that we're clear as timeline wise,
Okay,
for sure.
Great,
'Cause
thank you.
There's several moving parts.
Okay. Let's see.
Good one as well.
Go, please.
So, I had put together a list of financial monthly reporting requirements that I think I was asked to do a while back.
Yes.
I sent them to the Finance Reserve Committee. I got some additional suggestions that I need to add to this. And I guess the question is, where did it go next?
Well, it's a good question. I think, if the list that you have is one that you're happy with, it can go, I would let Hampton know now, just so they can, do you have, I would send it to Justin Kuhn. Do you have his contact details?
Why don't you send it to me just in
Okay.
case?
Yeah.
I think I do.
Yeah, he's collating everything now, and that way, I know he'd be very happy, to get that. So, and then maybe, I can add to that generally, I have,
Yeah, I could discuss it with him if he wants to go through it.
yeah, I think that would be great. I think that'd be great to do. And I did share with Hampton, where to find the advisory committee meeting dates, and also that we have a number of meetings coming up in the near future. I know there's our SAC today, and then there's a facilities meeting tomorrow at 3. Social and dining is on Wednesday. We've got a couple others coming up. I think fitness and pools coming up next week. So they definitely want to be plugged into that.
Okay.
So so if I'll get you Justin's contact details.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Just make myself a note, or I'm gonna forget. Alrighty, and then a last item, which is supervisor requests and comments. Are there any? I think we conducted the workshop,
I
didn't
think
we?
we did too.
Pretty much.
Exhausted. All right, so failing that, I will be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, everybody, have fun.
Hey, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Take care.
Ciao.
Thanks.
Oh, there she is.